We are going to do something today that I'm going to need everybody's help with. We're going to start as a whole group and look at some pieces of art, but only a little bit at a time. So I'm going to need everybody's eyeballs to be able to see this table. And after we do this together, we're going to try to do it again in smaller groups. Today we are going to do a modified thinking routine that's based on the zoom in routine. What we're going to do is slowly reveal the image by looking at just a small piece of it. The idea is to start with observation, but then to elaborate on that with description. So name and describe. Then as they open each window, the more of the image that reveals, my hope is that the connections that they make grow and that they can name more, describe more, and then begin the third step, which is interpreting. So underneath this green piece of paper, I need you two to come a little closer. Like I want everybody to be able to see, and I have numbered them in a sequence. When we open that, what we're going to try to do is name first what we're seeing and describe it just a little bit. Would someone like to take off the tape? There will be more chances to take off more tape. Alex, can you just name one thing that you're seeing in there? It's red, excellent.
Pattern.
A pattern. Who can add to that? I'm going to try to get somebody I haven't heard from. Penelope, can you add one thing?
Different shapes.
Different shapes. Color, pattern, shapes. Delilah, one more thing.
The gold heart.
Other things that have not been named. Color, pattern, gold, red.
Shades.
Shades.
Fabric.
Kind of like a fabric. That's adding. So here's what's good. We're starting to just name the beginning things, but then making some connections. Amelia, you said shades. Can you say a little more about that?
There's like different shades of red and like different tones of it.
Anybody else? Susan.
It looks like intestines to me.
Like intestines. Ooh, that's an association making a connection. One more, James.
There appears to be some kind of like bronze or silver embroiderment over there.
Like here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're noticing small details. Okay. So this is how this is going to work. You did excellently. So we're going to name what we see, describe it, make associations. And as we open, I think more things will be revealed. And so part of what I'm always trying to do is build up their language and their ability to apply what's known to them already in terms of vocabulary, but then actually the art vocabulary as well. Number 2, Susie, can you do the honors on number 2? Cleo and then Erasmo.
White.
White. Erasmo, add to that.
It looks like a plant to me, above the white.
Okay, so like a plant, white, black.
Has multiple colors.
Say more about that. What do you mean?
It's using contrasting colors. The white and black, the light colors and the dark colors.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to point out to everybody is that your angle is going to make you see different things. Let's move on to number 3. Bianca, can you open that? I'm trying to get students to start from where they are and getting in their different voices. I think it's really important that they each realize that they're coming with their own valid perspective, whatever that is. Because some students feel like they don't have the experience or the background that others might. So I think this kind of looking also shows them everybody has something to contribute.
It looks like either a curtain or like there's bed canopies, and when you tie one of the corners, it kind of looks like that.
Yes, Alex?
A rag.
A rag. James?
I see what kind of looks like a path on the ground leading into the darkness.
Interesting. So interpret. I love how Susie sees a shoulder and you see a path. Mare.
So it kind of looks like a bit of more of a realistic version of like a ghost over a sheet.
Uh-huh. That's kind of the draping. Part of what I love about this routine is that it's a slowing down, and it is really focusing in on the things that otherwise we might take in just a quick, my eyes moving around this piece and I'm noticing. But by slowing down and looking at details, we're really forced to examine it. It's like being on a beach and picking up rocks and looking at one at a time.
The first one, it looks like there's something gold, and then there's like something a bit darker gold on the one we just opened. And I was thinking,
Hey
maybe
guys,
it's part
let's listen
of,
to
like,
Ophelia.
a stand for the music book, because the music book looks like it's sitting on a stand or something. Yeah, and it still is like with the same like rug colors. Like it still looks like the same rug in the background.
I'm hearing that people are now sort of putting some connections together about how these parts are making up the whole. I wonder, did you have an idea about it? I'm going to be looking for those moments where they're clearly taking a leap and taking a risk to say, here's what I think. And their leap may be off in a completely different direction than what's actually there, but that's great because that's showing that they can imagine and extend and sort of envision things that, maybe I haven't even thought of.
The music book looks like it's been used a lot because it's kind of worn down. Like it looks like it's been rained on.
And one of the things I think you're pointing out is that when we only see a part, it's very abstract. I want you to come up here, Penelope, and open number 6. I'm going to pull it across so you can reach it.
I see I believe that's a hand.
So hand, light and dark contrasting. I heard you say an instrument name. Say that to everybody and then say a little more about that.
I think it's a banjo.
You think it's a banjo. Say more about that. Because why? What do you see there?
It's circular.
It's circular. What else, James?
Based off of the clothing that's around the hand, it looks very old and like Victorian era.
Bianca, I don't want to miss your comment. Go ahead.
I think it's a female hand.
You think it's a female hand. So now we're interpreting again. So interpreting based on the style of the sleeve. What about the hand? Say more about that.
Her skin seems to be a lot more softer, and she seems to be dressed fairly nice from just her hand that we see. And she's playing an instrument, so that means she must have money to buy an instrument and be educated to play it.
It's important to me to hear from all the students, especially in a routine or an activity like this. I really want each kid to feel like they have something to contribute, to build up the ones that I need to build up so that they always feel comfortable. I'm going to carefully peel the tape off so we can uncover. And then once we can see the whole thing, I want to hear from you about how your ideas might have been different than what we're seeing, how your ideas might support what we're seeing. What was included in the picture that we couldn't see in the parts?
The other instrument, bird cage looking thing. Wow.
There's a bird cage. I can't even see that from here. Can,
It looks like a bird cage.
yeah, I had not even noticed that before. That is so cool. One surprise for me when we did the big reveal at the end and revealed the whole poster, and one of my students pointed out this object that was in the dark background behind the figure that looked like a bird cage. And my response as a teacher was, wow, I had not seen that. That surprised me too. And I really, I think that's a great kind of moment because I had not noticed. Does anybody else have questions about what you wonder about this piece?
What instrument is she playing?
The kids were getting excited. They really did want to see, what's coming next. And as I was designing it, I was trying to find parts of the image that weren't clearly connected in the beginning, so they would have to kind of puzzle through that. But it was interesting to me to see where the kids had questions and they couldn't really answer.
It looks kind of sad because it's like a really dark toned background.
Kind of a somber mood. Does somebody have a different response?
I think the woman's playing music to the bird.
To the bird in the cage. Interesting. Anybody else? Susie, go ahead.
To me, it looks maybe like a little bit foreboding.
Foreboding. Say more about that.
Well, it's just like you can't tell where the light is coming from because it's somewhere like in front of her. But you can see that it's shining on her, and the background, as you pointed out, you didn't actually like really notice the bird cage until Ali pointed it out.
So there's strong light, light and dark. What else, Allie?
Now that I see the whole thing together, it looks kind of like the lady with the pearl earrings.
Oh, yes. Tell me, I know about that. Can you describe the lady with the pearl earring to
She
other
has
people?
kind of like the same like hair tie in the back, and her face is almost statuette and porcelain like this.
The next phase for my class is to do this without me as the lead and going through all the steps. I think art teachers often assume that students don't want to do other activities besides art making in class. And I think for a long time I was operating that way. And the more I've introduced thinking routines and discussions and looking at art, visual thinking strategies, slow looking, all these kinds of connected things, I realized that there are always students who surprise me in these moments who maybe are not as strong in being artists and producing art, but have a lot to say.